Right.
I deleted my heart and I really want it back. I don't wanna feel like I might be a sociopath. I deleted my heart. I was young and impulsive and I would download another, but I'm afraid it wouldn't fit. I deleted my heart. 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 Heart, heart, heart.
All right, man, oh man, oh man, what a crazy, crazy day. Chris Bouzy, it's not one, but two accounts on Twitter. This just happened. Oh, this is so good. The guy who just decided to stalk and get people banned. I mean, this guy bragged forever about being able to get people banned on Twitter. I remember when he openly bragged when it worked for him, when he joined in and getting Ricada Law, briefly banned at one time. That's when Ricada Law ended up on Rumble. He's gone after people like Nate the Lawyer, trying to ruin their lives. I mean, he's done so many things. And man, how the worm has turned. Liz D, by the way, thank you for those 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate that. What a day, though. I never expected that. So, yeah, check this out. So now the bans actually make sense. I'm not one for typically seeing somebody banned or anything banned and being like, ha, 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 ha. But man, screw Bouzy. This guy has gone after so many people, myself included, I mean, this is the guy that, again, last year decided to go to the Rolling Stone, go to the Washington Post, and go to other outlets and try to get a few people, myself specifically, for covering what I've covered, banned. He tried to get them to join in. In fact, they did. Rolling Stone actually joined in trying to get bannings. And they did get one person banned. Well, look at it now. The one thing that he has left, the one grift that actually still works out, Spoutable. After all this stuff that he has done, now look at that. Spoutable has been banned on Twitter. And what's funny is he's been doing everything in his power lately to try to cause so I mean, the spoutable issues are insane today anyhow, but this is just the icing on the cake. I thought I would talk about it. I added this in right at the last minute because this stuff just happened. I mean, just now. You're talking about now again, this is supposed to all the stuff that Boozy does is supposed to be against, terms of service for Twitter. All the brigading is supposed to be against terms of service, the use of, an outside entity like Bot Sentinel, which we'll talk about in just a second. That's supposed to be against it. Also, trying to get people to go to outside companies while you sit on Twitter and try to undermine again and again. That's supposed to be against it. But apparently that changed today. Maybe Elon Musk found out about, some of the articles that have been out there telling people to redirect traffic to this site. Plus, he's been complaining about data scrapers. Bot Sentinel. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's already been hit by the API. But on top of that, we had it in anyway today. So check this out, anyhow. This is funny too. So Bot Sentinel was already having problems that may well get it. I mean, not Bot Sentinel, but Spoutable. We'll talk about Bot Sentinel in just a second. But Spoutable actually has a hashtag going around today called Spoutable Hostages. That's right. Spoutable hostages. Why would they have something called spoutable hostages? Well, check this out here. So apparently the site Boosie doesn't want anybody leaving anyway. So what he did was he removed the delete option from Spoutable, so you can't delete your accounts. He says that's because of trolls. Again, everything's because of trolls, but he quite literally deleted the option for people to be able to remove their accounts. So this has started a Spoutable hostages freaking thread. Oh my god. I mean, I kid you not. This is the greatest freaking stuff ever. I mean, he deleted he he yeeted the account delete key. He was like, "You can't leave me. How dare you? I'm Chris Boozy." Holy shit. Oh, what a crazy day. Hey, Zoe, thanks, Bobby. Tug missed you. Hey, glad to see you here. Good vibes, please. My daughter has been diagnosed with a rare type of aggressive cancer. Those things have been hard. Sent message on Twitter. I'll have to check that out. And love to you as well. Love to you and your family. I haven't seen a message. Now, Twitter is a mess right this minute, just to say. Anybody that messages me or anything else, if I don't see it, there's some weird stuff going on with Twitter, even weirder than normal. And it's been annoying, but I'll check your message and see if I can actually see it through all of that because I haven't been getting a lot of them. But look at this here. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up that main post that's put there too. People are showing off like, oh, here it is. So you can actually see a main post on this. This was actually this was going around before Spoutable ended up getting deleted there. Look, it's back, but it won't work. So first he deletes the delete button. Then he reinstalls the delete button, but the delete button doesn't work on Spoutable again. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave, baby. It's like, no, he's just a fan of the Eagles. He's not trying to keep you hostage. And then on top of that, the ban. And now that's not all of it either. So on top of that ban, you have another lovely band that is going on as well, and that is one for ye Bot Sentinel. Bot Sentinel got banned too. So you have Spoutable eats it today. Bot Sentinel ate it today, and boy, Chris Boozy is not happy at all. I mean, he is so mad about this stuff. Look at that there. He's confirming himself. He's like, not only did Twitter suspend my Spoutable account, but they suspended the bot Sentinel account. It's so sad. It's so terrible. Like I said, typically I would not be for anyone getting anything suspended, but this dude, man, he has tried his damnedest to ruin people's lives. I mean, currently he's still going on about the German guy, the guy who proved that there was a data leak. I believe that was when was that? February? Yeah, he's still going on about that. And remember back when, he was talking about how he was going to call the FBI on those folks and everything else, and he doxed them. He did everything, went after their businesses, their jobs and everything else, only to find out that legitly there was a data leak. There was 25,000 people that actually had their accounts compromised. I mean, it has been a turbulent ride for that. But without Spoutable's ability to market on Twitter, they would have no growth at all. And I'm telling you, like, Spoutable is a damn mess anyway, like a horrible one. This is funny. This is a I think I've made my Elon Musk my opinions clear, but like this I consider a win there. So let me show you something else too. So Spoutable, anyway, is already having some real traffic problems, like some very real traffic problems. And look, he's crying on Spoutable. Check this out. Oh, you can't make this shit up. Like, here's the Spoutable. He's like, being attacked by all sides for just trying to provide a safe space for people to interact is mentally draining. Watching it burn. What's up, Susan Dolan, by the way? Thank you for the 22 months. Thank you. Hoping you, Lug, Bug, and Mama Tuck have a great 4th of July. That it doesn't rain or get too hot. Yeah, actually, we went. Fireworks are nuts this year. So the kids obviously get some fireworks. And as part of the so where I live over here, people shoot off like armies of fireworks. I mean, talking about like ridiculous amounts. But as part of like the neighborhood. I hate to call it a neighborhood. There's not much, but it's part of our little neighbor agreement. We supply a few fireworks. And last year, the same things I would have bought for less than $100 now cost more than $100. It's almost double that cost. Like, oh my God. Oh, it's nuts. But still, yeah, we'll have fun. We'll be celebrating too. Hey, they just keep giving us more things to celebrate. But I mean, look at the crying here. Oh my God. And look, the amount of traffic again by the guy who, again, all traffic is directed to. Look, I stand with Bouzy. Oh, let's see how many tweets there. I'm sorry, spouts you have to make that roam. I stand with Bouzy. 5 spouts. 5 people posted it. Woo! Mobilize that army, baby. Mobilize that army. Let's look here. Oh, look. The spouts don't even show up. Nothing shows up when you do it either. What a broken piece of shit. Oh my God. This dumpster fire doesn't even work when I click on shit. I'm looking at it from the outside, by the way. I've not created an account there. I wouldn't create an account there. What a freaking dumpster fire, though. I'm like, let me click on that and see what people are saying. They ain't saying shit. They probably got suspended because it was probably sock accounts laughing at him. Oh my God. Robin, thanks for 3 months. Oh my God. You're fired tonight. Hey, apparently. Apparently, so is Spoutable. It's on trash fire tonight. You love it. Oh, got you, son. Hey, what's up? Thanks for the 5. Hey there, y'all. Hey there. Hey, look at this mess. Let's look at some more cry posts. Oh, man, it's so sad. Oh, man. This place is funny. It is funny. Like, it's gonna be stuck here with, like, nobody talking. Let's look back some more. Give me a second. I had to scroll back. I had to scroll, like, 19 times because this piece of crap site is so stupid. When I click on something, it takes 7 years ago when I clicked on that button. It's like, "What in the hell is going on, Chris? Come on, Kitchen Chris." I swear to God. You know what the funny thing is, for real? Okay, there's a site, a spout, jeez. It's gone to my brain, it's terminal. Oh, Lord. Get that spout out. Spout be gone. I'll have to get an exorcist. He's gonna say some words over me. Don't splash water on me. It'll remind me of whales. But it's holy water. It's none holy. Okay, stop. Let me stop for a minute. I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Okay, here we go. Man, what a trash fire of a site, though. But there is a site called Doubtable that is really just a laugh track at first of Spoutable. It's better than it. It works better. I get more engagement than I ever would on this trash fire of a site. Oh my God. Join Doubtable. It's fun. It is fun to goof off there for real. I goof off every now and then there. I look around too. Amy, thanks for the 9 months. Good to see you, Tug. Happy 4th from across the pond. Thank you. Candy, thank you for the 9 months too. Said love to the Tug family for happy 4th. Yes, so glad. Be a member. Yeah, it's early 4th now. It's 3rd here still, so cross obviously, it rolls into the 4th. It's still the 3rd here. Happy early 4th for people that are here, and well, happy 4th for people that are there as well. Death's Angel, thanks to my God, Tug. I'm laughing so hard. Yeah, let's look at a few cry posts here. Of course, he's got the pen. Now, you notice too, the pen is crying about the data leaks. I mean, this dude, I tell you, it has been nothing but garbage from this guy for months. He's crying about the data leaks, cried about the Wire freaking article, cried when Cat Timbarge turned on him and stuck the knife in. Oh my God. I mean, can you imagine? So really, to drive this home, like if you created an account on Twitter, yeah, and you were like, man, I'm done with that, or YouTube or whatever, you can scroll to the bottom and be like, delete this account. Yeah, you can just be done with it. Be like, screw it. So today, again, Bouzy, he blamed this on sock accounts, though. He blamed it on other people, saying I had to do this because he deleted the option for people to delete their accounts. And people were mad. They were like, yo, you need to bring that back, showing that they wanted to be off the damn site. They were tired of the garbage. I mean, the guy, he attacks people daily from that side of things. He's spent so much time internally attacking people that are on his side over nothing. Again, as somebody that runs that site, your go-to should be, yeah, I apologize for whatever the problem is today, and we're going to fix that. If people are arguing on the site, you say, we allow that. We do allow arguing. I mean, again, there are many ways to go about that. I hear you, but of course he doesn't go with free speech, so that doesn't actually work. But instead, again, he deletes the key, gets blowback severely for it. So he reinstalls the key, but doesn't make it work. So people still couldn't delete it. I mean, again, they were being held hostage. That was the problem today. And then the problems have just compounded. Oh, God, it just keeps getting better today. Manic Malice, thanks for the 10. Wrecked, indeed. Good stuff. Hey, what's up, Brock? How you doing? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome, Tugs Thugs. Good to see you, Brock. Look at this, though. I mean, Oh my god. He's been doing, like, cry I mean, look at all these cry threads. That's what most of them are, though, you know? Oh, look, he's still going after on here. So in the 3rd, starts out let's see, is that the first post? No, no. Oh my god, there's other threads. Holy god. Look at all the damage control threads today. This is just today. My god, it's all it is damage control threads. You know, it starts out with the "We're the greatest ever." My god, they're still going. So they had 404 errors. So today started out apparently with 404 profile errors. What a trash fire. Uh, we're holding up well. We get started back online, fixing profile 404 errors. Oh, it's because of new users, of course. Of course it is. It's not a garbage site. Oh, look, Spoutable. We're on the Google Play charts. Yeah, it's going to drop like a freaking millstone there, too. 404's fixed finally. Oh, look. Oh, rest is for blue sky. Oh, God. Takes a shot at blue sky, then does damage. Okay. Then does damage control there. That's so funny, though. He's like, we're getting so much new traffic, 700%. Well, where the fucking users at, man? Of course, to keep them hostage. So they make sure that they don't leave. He just removes their ability to do that. Then, you know, he starts threads again, multiple ones. Up Wire articles. He has to do a thread on that, you know, trying to spin the Wire article. The reason for that is because, amongst other things, it called him out for his crypto scams. That's one of the weirdest things that I didn't expect, and one of the things he's tried to damage control against because, you know, he was apparently a pretty notorious crypto scammer. That was a little before my time, but there are all types of allegations, including the people that were working directly with him that said, "Yeah, this dude, yeah, he was a notorious crypto scammer." Then on top of that, you know, someone random falsely reported a data leak at Spoutable with list of IP addresses to scare people. Oh no. That's why people have been deleting too. So, you know, it's like, oh no. So apparently, the person who started this hoax is telling gamers we were stealing their IP addresses. Who knows what the fuck damage control? Then, of course, got to start doxing people. Oh, look, a doxing thread. Oh, that's some fun times. Then, oh no, catastrophe strikes for him. He's like, oh my God, they just suspended us. We never used it. First the hoax, now this. No, it should have been suspended right away. Like I said, it violates every Twitter rule imaginable. It redirects traffic off site to competition, not toward like a YouTube link or something like that, which actually they throttle too. So that's one of the dirty little secrets that Elon Musk has too. Anything gets throttled, period, which is messed up as a business thing. Hey, invest, but yet, but as far as leading to competition, that's a no-no. I mean, like I said, Chris Boozy, I have no idea why his account is still alive. I have no freaking idea because all he does is sit around. He doesn't just trash Twitter. You're allowed to trash Twitter on Twitter, but you're not allowed to use that to, again, drive traffic off-site. That is a huge no-no. And there, well, apparently, yeah. Then, not only did that suspend there, but they also got Obot Sentinel too. And, you know, I don't even know. And then he's like, oh, I'm getting attacked from everywhere. Because, you know, on site, like I said, he was getting attacked for data leaks. He had people wanting to leave because this isn't the first time, apparently. On top of that, I mean, Kitchen Chris is going to have a fucking breakdown soon. He's going to just go into, he's going to target somebody and just lose his freaking mind. It's gonna be interesting to watch. So, check this out, though. So, as far as about Bot Sentinel anyway, Bot Sentinel is done. I was saying this the other day. Bot Sentinel anyway, they now that they can't take information from Twitter, they no longer have a way to actually target anyone anyhow. If you look at Bot Sentinel, now some people were saying, well, this is proof, of so there are limits, there are tweet limits that are going on Twitter. It is the biggest trash fire that I've seen in quite some time. Some of the dumbest stuff that I've actually noticed, but that's not the cause of what's transpiring. In fact, you can see that they've been having problems. You see their alerts here. They've been having problems for quite some time, as far back as April. You'll notice, like they had the 17th, and look at what they get here. Like, look at what they're attacking. So these are their alerts for trending. This is what they were alerting to. Set free. Corrupt administration. You call it corruption on a side of politics? Oh, they don't like that at all. Pretty amazing. Prison cell, gain followers, and then I have no idea. That is Tucker Carlson, the Orange Man. Quick follow and follow back. Man, he's protecting you. But it hasn't been working since April 28th, 2023 there. Then suddenly, now look across the top here. This is real time, by the way. I pulled up the site just to show you this. If you notice any of these items where they're actually taking aim at accounts, they have big zeros. See, a lot of people just see this number right here, but they miss out on the fine print. Like, how many have they added today? None across the board. How many have deactivated or suspended today? None across the board. How many reactivated or unsuspended? None across the board. Again, they can't track people anymore. So, and what they were tracking people with was trash anyway. And this should have been suspended a long time ago because, they were tracking what they called hate accounts. These were quote unquote hate accounts for Amber Heard. Notice, by the way, they're under hate accounts. And yet, if you look at the scores for folks like this account here, that account was normal, satisfactory. Wait a minute. How does that work again? But if you actually look at the profiling anyway, what it was doing is it was just adding in stuff that it didn't like. If it didn't like you politically, it would aim at you. This actually doesn't have any phrases about Amber Heard at all, to be honest. Track. No. So that's crazy. So this one was just added for apparently no reason. Because, look at this. Okay. So this is supposed to be an Amber Heard attack account anyway, a hate account. It's trending. This is what it tracks it off of, all of the hashtags on it. Look, there's no hashtags that have anything to do with her. It was follow back, meme gifts, train today, hey friends, basically June, Sunday morning, American Patriot, morning friends, worry Lolo, countless people, Patriot follow, comment section, good morning, New York State, 4,000 followers. Morning American, morning Patriot. It's just inflating those scores. So even when it was tracking, it couldn't track anything anyhow. It was getting that wrong. But now it's in the dumpster. Poor Boozy. Oh, man. You know what's really mad? He's going to be up all night. He's going to be like, Nick the lawyer is making fun of me. I know it. Oh my God. Bright side, Boozy. No matter what happens in the motion to dismiss for Spoutable and Chris Boozy's lawsuit, he's still lost. Oh my God. It's hilarious. Again, the funny thing really with Boozy, no matter what, is the fact that this dude spends so much freaking time on Twitter as it is, complaining and wanting people to go to Spoutable. He spends more time on freaking Twitter than he does on his own websites, which is, it's just amazing. The joke of it is so good. Sandy Nichols, thanks for 5. Under my profile, it showed True Blood. As I mentioned the show in a tweet, it wasn't even a hashtag. This stuff is unreal. But when it comes down to it, like I said, the reality of today is that, again, Boozy has gotten hammered. I mean, his accounts. This, one of the things that he counted on. First of all, he counted on Bot Sentinel to give him relevance because Bot Sentinel was a political tool where he could always. The reason that he got into all of those articles anyhow wasn't because he created something. It was because he's a political hack. He would go in, he would buzzword the right things. He built up quite a bit of following because of it. And then he's been bleeding those followers off for months and months. And not because they were just, he was talking about something different or anything else or talking about too much politics. No, it was because he started turning on those people. Because ultimately, even the mildest of feedback, forget criticism, feedback, that will get you targeted by Bouzy. But even so, the media loved him until Spoutable. That's when some of them started turning against him. Some of them are shills for Blue Sky, which is funny. Blue Sky, by the way, that's Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey, who owned Twitter before, he's actually coming up with his own thing. So he's going to have his own social media platform there, which basically is what Chris Bouzy promised. It will be probably a political echo chamber. It'll probably have the same type of bannings from before. I'll still probably join it just to see what kind of trash fire it is. But the Chris Bouzys of the world, you know why they fail? Ultimately, because they want to create an area that is only for them and the people that walk lockstep with them. That ultimately, you cannot run a site or a business like that. You want all traffic. And the reason that Twitter has worked is because people could go on there and they could argue about things. That is the draw to Twitter, whether anyone understands that or not. Twitter, it's not because people are putting up pictures of puppies or anything else. It's so people can go on there and they can tell their fellow human, to F off in the day, or they can argue about something. That is actually why the site thrives. Now, that may not be why you use it, but that's why it thrives still. That's what drove traffic to it, and that's what keeps it relevant. Spoutable never had that, but it did have the mainstream to try to drive traffic to it. But all of that is falling apart. He can't even drive off of it. Again, when Bot Sentinel is down, his relevance is gone. He no longer has any use to these folks. So his site being toast, yeah. And now the automated site, I don't know if it was working from before with all the problems, but now it can't work. It's actually gone. And again, Spoutable, it went the way of the dinosaur with it. What's up, Susan? Thanks for the gifted membership too. Thank you. Appreciate that. Fallen Hero, thanks for the vibe. Happy Spoutable and Bot Sentinel Suspension Day. Yeah. July the 3rd, baby. It's Bot Sentinel today. Let's play some band music. In come the clouds. And they can't leave either. They can never leave the big top. And Sid, thank you for the gifted membership too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ah, that is some good stuff, though. And I mean, this will be, I'm sure this will be funny tomorrow and the next day. Oh, the fit that will come from it. This is going to be a trash fire worth continuing to watch. Oh, it will be glorious. It will be absolutely glorious. Now, on the other side of this, oh my God, we've had the funniest trash fire watch party that I've ever seen as far as AH's accounts are concerned. So check this stuff out. I did a video on this, but I really want to drive this home today. I want to show you a little more on it. So Beatrix, by the way, you can follow her. The reason in videos, I don't with screenshots, I get in some stuff, but her account, it's actually a good one, but it's locked. Now, it's locked because of Some crazy people out there, but follow. She'll give you a follow back there. But you can follow, you can see right from go for a while. This has been bleeding off followers. It started out when it was posting. You see its numbers here, 5,280,937. You notice it starts declining, and the decline, it has become something just absolutely insane. I mean, we are talking about the loss of, oh my God, what is this? Give me a second. Hey, look, check this out. So I want to show you one other thing. This is on Chris Bouzy. I just saw this because Beatrix keeps a good eye on stuff. So on the Chris Bouzy thing, look, ooh, messages. So he's been complaining about how draining it was. That was the message there. And they're like, yeah, it's just as draining as it was for my friend who had a panic attack due to your foolery. But yeah, poor you. And they're telling him, this is a message to Boozy. BB did nothing but share knowledge that was easily accessible. And now you're talking about lawsuits. I understand the need to keep your company afloat, but you could have easily messaged them, asked them to remove it, and targeted the person who started the whole thing. I'm simply requesting for you to remove your thread, rewrite it, excluding the victim of your harassment. Thank you very much. Uh, so you see messages. Who would that person be by chance? I don't trust anyone in this matter. A friend of his, and we both deleted our text. And what stopped you from messaging me earlier when you could have been resolved then? Thank you for the deletion then, because I'm a busy man. I don't check my messages. Well, if you're going to cause issues for minors, a kid here too. By the way, I mean, for me, I'm going to put it this way. If some jackass, you see the kind of stuff I call out in places like Twitter. If somebody comes after me, I don't give a fuck who they are. I want to stand behind the decision to stomp on it. That's just the way it is. I'm a counterpuncher. But Boozy is running a business here. He's running a business where he's attacking people for, again, giving suggestions. And apparently some of them are minors that he's going after. He's threatening them with litigation and more. While jumping to conclusions, I suggest you make yourself more accessible in case you have another mistake. This could have been handled hours ago. You realize your friend caused a lot of harm, right? We're done. Thank you. And then he blocked him. That's what this means right here. He actually blocked him. So oh my God. Holy crap. The day just keeps getting better and better. Oh, and people have been, apparently, there's been a lot of reports about this stuff. A lot of them going on. But anyway, we'll keep up with that too. I just saw that though. Props to Beatrix. But anyway, so 30,000 followers and counting. And on top of that, for a age, you're talking about, like, look at some of the, as far as posts and everything else. I'll show you the posts too that are causing problems. This is why people have actually been dropping off of that. But 33,250 followers after she posted. I don't actually think it was because of her. One second. It was because of her two posts. What I think it was because of was because she decided that she was going to just go, hog wild and start targeting Depp again. I mean, I believe that actually, the reel that she put out. Give me 1 minute, I'll pull it up. I believe this actually contributed to the loss of quite a few folks, including Jason Momoa and following her. And oh man, the Sims are going crazy. They are attacking Jason Momoa. They've been putting together threads. I mean, it's freaking nuts. But it tells you that this Hollywood comeback thing, that's not real. If you need any more proof, yes, she made a shitty little independent film in the fire. That is nothing, a nothing film. and they started telling you Hollywood comeback. Meanwhile, Aquaman 2 hasn't even dropped, and she is so poison, according to what you're seeing here, that the people that are branded with her, like Jason Momoa, that guy, for anything with that guy, the one thing that you can guarantee with him is that he's all about that business and that money. And props to him. I mean, nothing negative in that whatsoever. I mean, that's who he is, and that's how you should be, honestly. If you're repping a brand, you should be trying to maximize viewership. You should probably be trying to bring in that dough, bring in the cash, but no, that's not what was happening. Instead, what you had happening was attacks and attacks. But these folks, they were still following him or her rather until. Now, the until, I'm going to show you two things. Give me a minute. I'm pulling all of this up on. I can actually prove, what's funny is you can actually see that this is real, by the way. Some people were like, well, there's an easy way to make sure that the unfollowing actually transpired. What you do is you follow everyone involved. So give me a second. I'll show you that. And then I'll show you the messages too, what really kicked all of this off. So you can tell that this is real this way. All right. So everyone involved, you'll notice here's Momoa. Now for the intent of this, now I already follow Momoa on stuff because I mean I've been watching to see what he does here because it's interesting. Really, I don't have a problem with Momoa. The only problem I've ever had with Momoa in what he does is I think sometimes he lets the politics stuff get to him. At one time, he said, people who I can't remember if it was vote conservatively. It doesn't matter what side of it's on. Let me make that very clear too. It was either conservatively or Orange Man. I don't remember exactly, but he was like, "You have nothing in common with me. Unfollow me." That you shouldn't do that. It doesn't matter if you don't like a Biden or an Orange Man. It doesn't matter. You want to maximize. It's not your product that you're damaging there, and people keep damaging. You shouldn't do that. That's a minor issue, I would say, overall, though. I mean, Momoa, as far as acting, Momoa's a good actor. He's an entertaining actor. I actually like him in roles. I enjoy him in quite a bit of stuff. Some of his earlier movies are actually pretty funny. I watched a werewolf movie the other day, and he was in it. I can't remember what it was, but it was funny. It was actually pretty awful, but he became a much better actor, over time. And I mean, he made Aquaman. Like, there's no joke about that. He is Aquaman. He made that movie. That's why people showed up. They didn't show up for Mira. They showed up for freaking Aquaman. And, of course, Game of Thrones. He was great in that. In Dune. I enjoyed him in Dune. I thought the role that he was in, I thought he added very well to that. It'll be interesting to see when that movie comes out, how all of that plays. But on here, if you follow everyone involved, what happens is you can see followed by. So you can actually check that. So you'll notice I actually followed 3 people in there. I'll show you this too, because I want to make sure I document this. But obviously I'm following Gal Gadot. And for the purposes of this, I typically will not follow them. But for the purposes of this, I followed AH as well, just to show you because they would pop up. Now, here's a little problem I think that causes her issues. You notice who he's still following. And a lot of them do this. They still follow JD. They have, in fact, Momoa for sure followed JD when he testified at the trial. I thought that was a huge statement. Momoa always walked the line when it came to AH. He never unfollow, but he would like posts that JD put up. But it felt like a statement there. And if you look at some of the stuff that has been said or videos that have been made public, you get the feeling that there were some issues. There were some major issues as far as their interaction is concerned. When she's trying to drunk kiss him in public and he's shoving her away, there was all the rumors about injuries and more too. But I mean, when you would see things in interviews. Supposedly, when it first came out, when you had all the Aquaman hype at the very beginning, it was always assumed that they were pals. Oh, look at them. They're buddies, they're pals. Then you look back and not so much, not so much at all. And like I said, this seems like a message in that. Gal Gadot is the same way. Somebody asked me, by the way, they were like, well, isn't Gal Gadot's next movie blah, blah, blah? Something, I don't remember what they said. Isn't it supposed to be like a woke reimagining of blah blah? I was like, I don't know. And that doesn't have a damn bearing in what I'm talking about. You know? I Gal Gadot, it doesn't matter if you dislike any of these folks or not. There's a message in it. The message is that a bridge has been burned. Something that is not being talked about publicly, but people that work either directly with her, like with Aquaman, or that are part of DC franchises, they're unfollowing. They're not there anymore. And you can see it just loudly, plainly here. It's evident. What's up, bro? Thanks for the two. As if Momoa gives yeah, exactly. About what 39 potatoes thing. Oh, he's not going to care. Nor will at the end of the day, the bottom line is not going to reflect any damage that they could do or not do. What are we funny? I bet you money. I bet you money. They'll be like, we're boycotting Aquaman now. A few of them. They'll be like, wait a minute. They'll be claiming they took it down. We're like, yep, the last bastion of the career that never was. Good job, folks. Good job. Join the boycott, man. Down with Aquaman. What a bunch of morons. They're leading to that. They're actually contributing to the Warner, when Warner looks at the optics of everything, they'll be like, yeah. Even the sims are turning on I guess we don't even have to conceal the fact. I mean, they don't. You can tell there's a problem too, because you'll have certain people come out like James Wan. Give me a second. You'll have James Wan come out, and he's been trying to do damage control, which I'll show you that in just a second. But through all of that, you don't have Warner talking about this movie at all, which is very strange. I mean, you talk about a 6-month window in which they could have really been advertising this thing heavily for months. And what have they done? Nothing. And now, like I said, Wonder Woman unfollows Wonder freaking Woman did. And if you look here, who's she following? Well, of course, Jason Momoa. But on top of that, who is she following? JD. That's right. Fascinating. So, as far as the idea of, who people believe, even though they're not speaking that truth loudly, because again, if they say anything at all, they are harassed to the nth degree. It's insane. It is insane to watch the harassment of these folks, but yeah, I think the message is loud and clear there. Then, you go to and what you find is that one of the reasons Momoa and a lot of people probably don't like nor do they trust her at all, is because she didn't just burn JD. When all this stuff came up, she actually tried burning anybody she thought could help her cause in the courtroom. She leaked internal messages from people that were part of the Warner hierarchy, executives. She leaked messages from that dealt with Jason Momoa. I mean, she put all of this stuff into evidence because she was planning on utilizing all of it, and you could see what it was. It was a lot of it didn't make it into the trial, which makes it even funnier, but she definitely added it as far as exhibits are concerned. So anybody that was paying attention, and a lot of people were paying attention, they ended up seeing communications that were not meant for you or I. They weren't meant for, That's what I talk about with sources. And you should consider, conversations like that. Unless somebody says, yeah, go ahead and do something. When there's communication between people, once you start dumping those communications out, maybe it could help you. It didn't help her at all. But in the immediate, even if it did, it wouldn't have helped long term. Because again, this is a company we already found out, from AH's own statements when she was talking about this was in all of the unsealed documents. One of them told us that she was indeed fired. She had been brought back, and when she was fired, they didn't want her on the show. In fact, she and other people tried to spin this tells you about disloyalty. She apparently had, at least according to that trial, had Jason Momoa advocating for her to come back. He went out on a limb for her. How far things have gone, right? Going from him putting it on the line, actually trying to help out, to, as you can see there, the following of that. Now, what's crazy, look, ACLU, of course, anybody that is helpful, anybody that walks lockstep, yep, got time for you. But if not, fair game. So you'll notice too, all of this problem starts coming up when she starts posting. So the posts start, you'll see the oldest posts here. They all stopped in December. That was when you had that settlement come up. She had that lengthy post about it. And that was the last thing that she had said for quite some time, December 19th. Then we get a few puff posts ones. You can see this is a shutdown limited comments. I'll show you why they limit those in just a second. But also, and this is funny, by the way, she tried to make this look like all of this crowd was all about her. And we found out that a lot of people there had no idea who she was. They actually thought that she was part of the Indiana Jones movie. We'll talk about that in a minute too, because that works into the discussion that we had about Depp and about Pirates coming to theaters on July the 7th. Oh, yeah. But you see that. And then there was one thing that is not on this account. And that, it said plenty. Look at Barlow all over it, too. Barlow's like, please. And you notice that they made this big deal about Emma Katz. Oh, you're on the open letter. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, right there in the front. Right there, front and center. Fascinating, isn't it? All these supposedly neutral voices that were speaking and talking about how they supported. Not so neutral, it seems, huh? John, thank you for the 5 there, by the way. Those icons on AH's profile, are they who she follows or who follows her? Regardless, hilarious that the ACLU is on there despite her failed pledges. Yeah, those are suggestions for me to follow. So most of them, they have something to do with her. Some of them, you never know why they suggest. A lot of them will be because she follows that. But that's Instagram telling me to go to them for some reason. And yeah, I'd say a lot of them are probably because when you click on a person's profile and they're saying, well, if you like this, then you'll like that. So, you could have some Hollywood suggestions that come up, but for the linkage for the ACLU, I would guess the ACLU, why that's there. Now, the reason though that I think there was a lot of blowback is because she's always been able to hide the actual blowback to her posts. She's been able to keep them under a rock until she put out this. Now I'm going to play this. It's pretty short, but it's nasty in a lot of ways. It's nasty. Why? Well, again, just listen to the whole thing and then we'll talk about it.
Thank you so much. I just saw Grazia ran and the open letter in full, and I just want to say I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. Grazie mille, as you would say.
Oh, very good. Darling. Ciao tesoro, un bacio grande, grazie ancora.
Bacio grande.
Look at the brace. That's from swatting bees, by the way. Remember? It's so hilarious. Oh, I busted it out because I was swatting bees. Again, JD gets a leg injury. What happens when she pops up? Oh, I got hurt. And like I said, it's fascinating, isn't it? This is somebody that told us they were like a freaking Terminator. I mean, they just shrug off any injury, no matter what. It doesn't even show up on them, but they end up trying to swat a bee and they have these kind of problems. I mean, it kind of doesn't follow, the quote unquote logic with that, does it? You notice all the alcohol too. I mean, you notice the alcohol is landing on her side of the fence. That's pretty telling too. But on top of that, there's the discussion about the letter. Now, that letter they're referring to is the open letter that has been. Remember, there was an open letter that was utilized in the court case, right? Well, that open letter has actually been morphed into something else. It has been morphed into an attack that was aimed at France. Now, there's no reason for that attack to go toward France except for JD, because it was aimed at him, not necessarily with cans, because it wasn't weaponized in time for that. What it was truly weaponized for was to go after his movie. They've all been going after, they've been saying, oh, his movie's a flop, or look at that. Look at how much it's made. And it's like, yeah, it opened in one place. One place. It hasn't even had a time to shine yet. But yeah, they took an aim at it. They tried to wreck it. And that's pretty much a call to it, which is really messed up when you think about it. When you read the comments, though, like I said, straight off the top, you have, tell the world, Johnny, tell the world. I see. Okay, this isn't her account, right? This is another account. So one of the things if you're running a regular account, when you look at Instagram and you look at how traffic works, leaving comments on is actually a good thing. It's detrimental to turn that off because it makes people stay there. Your video will probably play more times. Plus, it counts in. And there are a lot of people commenting. There are a lot of people that are adding in, their information. They're actually, likes too. Likes, something you need, especially with stuff like this. Likes do not equal endorsement. People will like so they can keep up with it, so they can find it again. And when you read it again, so, tell the world, Johnny, tell them I, Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim too of DV. And see how many people believe her side with you? Oh, look, she's an accoster there. Oh, man, she keeps getting her goons like EB to get whoever they can to sign these stupid open letters. They fall flat every time. Oh, another one, stop promoting AH, the accoster. I'm going to say, stop promoting the accoster. Stop giving the accoster. Again, that, what word I mean is there, a platform. Deleted. AH is on tape admitting to hitting JD unprovoked, arrested for DV, caught lying on the stem multiple times, and that's why she lost. And there are still enablers like you who give her a platform because she's a woman. Being accosted has no gender. I can't read that, so I can see what kind of hashtag Amber is an accoster. Yeah. Oh, wait. Here's translation. My bad. I didn't see that there. So disgusting. No one wants to see a woman like that on TV. Disgusting. You're celebrating a violent woman. Congratulations. Disgusting. Slimy snakes. Nothing else. The whole world has seen what she has done, and yet everything, there's still a role. Here's a reminder in case any of you have amnesia or forgot anything about the audio from the court case. I did hit you. I was hitting you. I did mean to hit you. I did start physical fights. I hit you, but I didn't hurt you. Johnny, you're such a baby. I mean, it goes on this is the kind of commentary that they've been picking up, and they've actually been deleting. So apparently they have been deleting comments, but this is all that's left. This is all that's left now. So when they were scrubbing comments, because there were so many of them, apparently this is all that remains. And again, this was the overwhelming majority of what people were saying. It was to the point that Team AH, all of their supporters, they were like, go over here and comment because she needs your support. She needs it, guys, big time. And it's like, this is the reality that people see. This is what people actually think. When they get off platforms like Twitter that are so bot enabled that it's ridiculous. When you actually start looking, it's a little bit different. And again, I'll back that bot comment up in just a minute too. I think I should add that to this. I've discussed it before, but I think it's actually worth noting here. Now, the reaction to all of this has been quite hilarious too. You've had all those AHers. I mean, they're doing their best to try to do damage to Jason Momoa, and of course, it'll fall flat. But it's still funny to see. I mean, here, it's like a switch there. I mean, and you'll notice, like again, Beatrice, give her props, but you'll notice in the screenshots, you'll notice what shows up right there. You see this little icon? If you're unfamiliar with Twitter, what that means is that they're hiding replies. So they're getting blowback to it. They're getting blowback enough that they feel like they need to keep anyone else from seeing it. And it also means that at the time they started that, at least, they hadn't closed down their comment section. They were actually getting 183 likes on it. That's big time for them. They may actually got some non-paid for, non-bot likes off of that because it brought in Jason Momoa's name. But they're trying to convince. They're like, how the F did Hollywood convince y'all that this man is attractive? That's so salty, dude. Oh man, the salt content is out of this world in posts like that. I mean, come on. This guy, again, he's the only reason that AH had that stellar hit. It wasn't because Aquaman was a joke. It has been joked about so much. I don't know how many of you have ever seen the show Entourage, but Entourage, Aquaman was such a joke that in Entourage, the main guy there, you end up getting a prolific director, a great director to actually to direct Aquaman. Everybody's stunned by it. They think it'll be a flop. And your main guy in Entourage ends up becoming Aquaman. And Aquaman, just like in real life, it becomes this smash hit. Everybody's shocked by it, and more. And that's always been the joke. If Aquaman ever became anything, it would stun people. And the reason that it did is because, they went away from the formulaic presentation of Aquaman. They took Jason Momoa, this guy that when you watch him, as a guy, when you watch him, and boom, he looks like a superhero, first of all. He looks like he could hurt somebody too. You're like, yeah, that actually works. And, females, men as well, depending on your preferences in that, many people find him attractive. He's a good actor. So, I mean, he has all these qualities that work. Mira is a sideline character. They're an accessory to the fact that you're watching an Aquaman movie. Do they work out in it? It worked out in the role. But apparently, when you look at it on the screen, apparently things were bad enough that the lack of chemistry was bad enough that the prior management of Warner Brothers comes out in trial and tells you, yeah, we had a problem there. The problem was a lack of chemistry. That's why we weren't going to bring back together. We actually had to do recuts and other things because there were issues. I think that, like I say, is a telling statement. When you look at a movie, you look at what's going on, and they're so salty about it too. Let's pull up something else here as well. they've also been putting together hit threads to try to go after him. So they're doing, I mean, it's just it's strange. It's not surprising, but it's strange. Let me note one other thing real well. Now I'll note this right afterwards because a friendly channel has been demolished. You know, like I said, I hate seeing channels get hit and stuff. So I'm going to bring someone up in just a minute too. But on top of this, you have, give me 1 second here. You have them again trying to put together hit threads. They're actually trying to do damage, hoping beyond hope that they can put together something, and you know how they're going to spin this. I'll tell you right now. I can see it right here. Why Amber unfollowed Jason Momoa is extremely significant. A thread. Hey, let's see if I can see that. I may be blocked though. Give me 1 second. Do what, baby? Well, go look on the shoe coffin. I asked Sissy to help you real quick, okay, baby? If she can't help you, then I'll help you in a little bit, okay? But let me see if I can find that thread. Give me 1 second. SLB1. Oh, let's see if we can see that. It's so weird though. It's so weird to see. Oh, here it is. Oh, a thread. Okay, so here's the thread. This is supposed to. Oh, why Jason Momoa? You know, because none of this stuff mattered until now, but now it's significant. Now Jason Momoa is a monster. Now he too is Me Too in some way, right? Why Amber unfollowing Jason Momoa is extremely significant. A thread. Hold on for 1 second. Sorry, I had a little kiddo standing on the steps, like talking to me down the steps. I was like, I can't hear you. You got to go upstairs. But why she's unfollowing him is extremely significant. A threat, extremely. Jason Momoa betrayed Amber twice by liking Depp's statement after the verdict. So again, look at this. This is their PR push toward Jason Momoa. He betrayed her. You know, never mind that this person, they tried to destroy his career by leaking messages, by going out, God knows, doing anything. This is his flagship, and it is burned to the ground. Aquaman will fail. It will fail. Jason Momoa had to get, God knows what kind of hoops he had to jump through to get the golden parachute option that he did end up getting. But this was his baby. This was his push to the big time. He has never had anything like that. And she burned it to the ground. She was burning them behind the scenes. She was going after Warner Brothers. Again, she's doing all of this stuff, but betrayal. Maybe there's a reason again that he was liking posts. Maybe he's had to deal with the drunkenness, the craziness. You know, we saw again, there's a video of her where they're in public. They're doing promotional and she is basted. And she's trying to, she inappropriately tries to put hands on a kid. You know, if this was a man that did this to a woman, it would make national headlines. If a woman had to push a man away and be like, oh, get off of me as a star, that would make national headlines. But Jason Momoa, he just got to, oh man, Beefcake's just got to eat that, right? Because that's not harassment. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. That shows you the nasty double standards people have. But he betrayed. There's a reason that this stuff happens. And there's no positive for Jason Momoa to do that. There's a statement in it. but there was no positive whatsoever. And you can tell, like I said, the reason she unfollowed is because Jason Momoa unfollowed her. He was like, I'm done with this. I'm separating from this mess. But he's the betrayer. I mean, after a while, you separate from these abusive people. You try to go and do your thing. Again, you want to have success. And they not only burn you personally, but they burn you professionally. That's how you take care of your family. Feed your children. Again, this is the thing that you work and strive for. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Jason and Amber are co-workers. He should have supported his co-worker. Liking restatement as well didn't absolve him of that. No, it's a statement. He definitely made a statement there. Him following Johnny Depp, like I said, he doesn't share movie roles with the man. It's not like directly, and more than that, it's also a statement from Warner. When Warner is like, yo, that's not a problem. They didn't stop him from doing this. If it would have been a real problem, and it is a problem for Aquaman, but at the same time, maybe not. With him doing that, it does say, I don't endorse this stuff. But yeah, I mean, we've seen a coworker blindly within the fire. We've seen two people that have blindly connected to AH and have disconnected from reality. They were like, well, we've known her for a few weeks and she was X, Y, and Z. Well, yeah, that doesn't say very much. Again, how much wine in all of that time? But consider all the abuse has received for falsely accused of not loyal, both in a relationship with Depp and in writing the co-ed. Falsely accused. I swear, the spin is so unreal. Depp posited that Amber refusing to say she made false allegations was betraying him and not looking out for him. He expected her to sacrifice her truth and dignity. That's the expectation of loyalty the woman was faced with. Yeah. Admit what you did. Oh, you're not going to admit what you did? Oh, no, that's betrayal, even asking you to fess up and admit that you tried to destroy someone's life. So it's she expected. How would they know this? Again, some of it's conjecture, of course. Some of it, though, we found out. So to add to this, and I'm sure that this stuff goes on. I've mentioned this a few times, but I think it's always relevant to bring up. I think that this goes back over and over again. This is the fact that even sock accounts these days cannot be trusted not to have some sort of connection going straight to AH. I mean, when you look, again, remember when Barlow got all of her blowback from statements that were obviously AH because, her, I don't want to have stones thrown at me. Her talking about, well, within the fire, she had unrelated things attached to hype. She doesn't want anything posted about that. And Barlow, again, she put out that statement. And the AH Simps went nuts. And they started telling you about the connecting behind the scenes. And again, the flagrant PR associations. So this was a thread. This thread, yes, you get mileage off of it because this thread, I think, tells you all you need to know about even the small accounts out there. How are they talking on their own? Do they have direct connection? Again, these are the same people that freaked out because people like myself, we wanted to find out portions of what was going on at the trial. And Adam Waldman ends up talking to us. Now, again, AH's lawyers were welcome to talk, but they will only talk if you'll weaponize. And apparently, you found out there have been several phone calls that have been like the crazy dude from the beginnings of my videos, the ones, the phone call, I'm a man, that guy, he ended up leaking phone conversations where he had called people like Waldman. He had called people like Ben, and they would talk to whomever. They'll talk to anybody because that's their prerogative. They should. They should make sure that they collect, they answer questions. But Adam Waldman especially, yeah. But you're finding out behind the scenes that Eve Barlow is sitting in rooms or groups, chatting with Amber Heard fans, giving live updates day to day behind the scenes. So day to day, she has been weaponizing. And again, when you saw that post that she got blowback for this, again, oh man, you think about this, okay? Think about this is what I mean by PR. Amber's sad today. Why is she sad? Why is she stressed out? Well, because Johnny, he filed this. Oh, make sure you go out and say everything out there is so bad. Mobilize the troops. On top of that, you saw this stuff happen live a few times. You saw it with Adam Waldman. When Adam Waldman, I mean, you think about the flagrant attempts to get people banned. Now this is proof that they have groups where they chat behind the scenes day to day, sitting there with AH herself. That would be like, on the other side. Imagine the response if somebody were directly communicating from day to day, directly in communication, and was going behind the scenes, not doing it publicly, but doing it behind the scenes to groups of people while these groups were doxing and doing other horrible shit that we know of. It's leaked out of some of these groups. I never saw the communications from Barlow, but Barlow was parked in some of these places. So, I mean, to see them saying this and to tell you how long it goes back. So, using her access to AH as a bartering chip with randoms online. So these are just randos. They tell you this stuff. It's not just key access people there, but just random people online since before the UK trial. So it goes back many a year. On top of that, the idea of weaponization is made very clear too, because they say, when Barlow ended up getting exposed, their words, as a moron by most of the internet, she weaponized her access to AH and tried to get those people she was chatting with. So again, none of this is happening publicly. They're making it clear this is happening behind everything to come to her defense. So again, the whole idea, she was using the same playbook that she always was, trying to weaponize folks. So when you see this, that's the point. That's a point that you need to make with. So let me go back to that thread. And you never know, like, the circling of the wagons definitely exists, but why? Who knows, man? It's just nutty. Amber is expected to be that loyal to Momoa. He's more powerful male figure in a franchise that is critical to her career. She's not supposed to anything publicly to suggest there's a problem. Women are conditioned to be nice and forgiving. Conditioned. I'm hitting you. I'm not punching you. Throwing pots and pans. Remember that time arrest in an airport? Because she was doing that to not a man. That's right, I forgot. That was a woman. Oh, wait a minute. But forgiving. This could have a negative impact. The career's already done. Unfollowing Momoa is a way for her to break free of her conditioning. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I mean, what? Oh, my God. The spin on that is unreal. She's breaking free, baby. Yeah, when you circle in the drain of life, just, oh man, no career, no nothing. I'm breaking free. I'm moving to Spain. I'm hiding out in a hut. Yeah. You look at the comments there.
I'm glad she unfollowed him. Everyone's so cowardly. Oh my God.
So funny. Let's see. I mean, she accused Jason Momoa of pushing her and shoving her if she didn't give him attention. Everyone is abusing her. Maybe he was just smarter than Depp and stayed clear, setting boundaries. She should unfollow everybody. Her only hope are non-English speaking nobodies. Whoops. Here, let me load a few more of these. Let's see what kind of commentary you get for that. Let's continue. Give me 1 minute. Oh, these are funny. Why would Jason Momoa support an abuser? Jason Momoa unfollowed her first. And that's true. You mean he unfollowed her? Yes, that's exactly what happened. Jason Momoa unfollowed her. See, that's the spin part of this is, yeah, I mean, she broke free. Yeah, she broke free after he was like, yo, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing all this shit anymore. I'm done. And again, that tells you what Warner's hierarchy they play. The only way that they are going to salvage any remnant with Aquaman, I'm not talking about the movie, but see, this will dog Jason Momoa's character forever. And Warner hasn't had the excuse. I'm going to just say this bluntly and nicely. Warner hasn't had the balls. They haven't had the stones to actually come out and disassociate from the thing that will drag their franchise to the bottom of the sea, where it's portrayed to be, but where it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're talking about $1 billion franchise. They know the damage. They know what's going to be there, but they won't queue up enough reshoots for it because they think it's going to fail. And these companies, whether it's with The Flash or whether, again, looking at a Disney, when you look at all of these movies, they definitely will trigger reshoots. Looking at their mirror image company, Disney, like when we look at Indiana Jones, we're finding out, by the way, according to Deadline, that the budget for that movie wasn't $295 million. They're saying it was $324 million. And that's because of reshoots. Companies will spend money on reshoots if they think that it will help their bottom dollar of their product. Now, it doesn't always do that. But in this case, if they would have done something to actually replace the mirror stuff, they would have had to eat the money. If they would have taken out of it, they would have had to eat the money. And they would have had to give top dollar for replacement at the end. If they would have gone that way, saying that role was irreplaceable because it was placed in a certain way. If they had to do it that way, they would have eaten maybe $3 or $4 more million. They could have found a replacement with a good name for, again, just putting some fast stuff together. And they could have, reshoot again. You're not talking about location reshoots most of the time. Most of these are on a green screen. So really, all you need to do is get positional reshoots and then put them in to scenes. Is it complicated? Sure. But if it severely impacts the bottom dollar, then. And like I said, Jason Momoa, I think, understands the damage that this person has done. I think it's not just on, again, a private level. That would have to be, I would say, for him to go to this link, though, it's not a professional issue. It is a personal issue. Because it's like this. I've not seen Momoa play in the. It's kind of like I try to live by this. I sometimes get annoyed. Like, I don't care if you think a different way, if you disagree with me on stuff. I don't really care about that. But if you're doing horrible shit to me, the people around me, if you're trying to destroy what's mine, yeah, I'd have a problem with that. And that's what you're seeing. But you see a lot of, 2 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Why can't y'all accept for once that no one stood up for AH because no one outside of Twitter believes her and no one likes her because they all know she lied because they weren't allowed brainwashed by pro-AH Twitter threads. Yeah, exactly. Why? She was trying so hard to get him. She was even willing to destroy his marriage. He wasn't falling for herself while she wasn't able to manage it. Beer Bug was, and still he wasn't following her. Maybe it's why she unfollowed there. What a load of imagine spending your free time stalking celebrity follow lists. Let's see, there's some more here too. Let's continue down that road. Oh, there were two more. It was like weird that people close to her don't want anything to do with her. Actually, this is a very good statement. This actually means quite a bit too. So, and this is a statement that follows all the way back to 2016. You notice any association that she has had, any friend group associations, unless they are unhealthfully attached, they don't stay. I mean, you had the freeloader squad. None of them. People that supposedly saw AH go through the worst things ever, they don't remain in contact in any way whatsoever. They don't. They didn't have that relationship anymore. That's what you were told by her BFF, Rocky Pennington. When she said, "Yeah, she hit me before." Yeah, I mean, amazing stuff, isn't it? And meanwhile, you see what was happening. You see what was happening there. I was trying to say that. It's like, no, that's not what. You see what was happening with the spin, and the spin has been very heavy for the movie. You, in fact, Bounding into Comics actually covered. One second, I'm pulling this up here. The Bounding into Comics. Give me 1 minute. Covered a conversation that went on with James Wan, and their coverage of it I thought was interesting. This actually, the interview happened on 1 minute. Here it is. He's Bounding into Comics again. Props to them on this one, though. After the Flash collapse at the box office, again, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars in a disaster, and it's not just that. Again, this is a test to see how this type of quote unquote controversy plays with audiences. Again, Ezra Miller is the perfect litmus test to see whether or not, as a company, you could get away with this stuff. And they couldn't. You've got to go out and you got to spin. So what they do is they try to distance themselves from the Flash. But when you look at this and you look at all the combined statements, you'll notice something else. They never bring up AH at all. They've ghosted her. I mean, she's not there. Check this out. So after the Flash collapse at the box office, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom director tries to save the film by claiming it's quote unquote a very standalone movie. So his interview. Well, Aquaman, even the first film, has always been a very standalone movie. That was always our approach. It's kind of lives in its own world. And that's kind of how we approach the Lost Kingdom as well. Then they tell you why it's going to succeed. They're going to hype it up. People love Jason Momoa. Yeah, they love Jason Momoa. People love him playing the role. What else do people love? Well, people love action visuals. Not AH. They love action visuals too of this space and the world. What else do they love, by the way? And that's what we're doing, rather. We're taking it to the next level. We are still expanding. And just any fans of Aquaman, the character, that love Black Manta. So even Black Manta, the villain in this, you don't get hyped for AH. You get hyped for Black Manta. People that love Black Manta. This is the next level. And I'm very excited to finally put out there and show them what we've been working on all these years. No endorsement, no hype, nothing there. And as they combine all of these other statements, you'll notice that's not coming up anymore. I mean, you have, statements from Momoa. Momoa's made a few, and again, Momoa's statements about there always being Aquaman. I've taken these statements to mean Aquaman is not going to go away. That doesn't mean the franchise won't go away, because there is no planning of a franchise. If you look, DC mapped out how their expectations of how things continue. And something that is just flagrantly omitted is Aquaman. It's not there at all. But he was saying, I'll always be Aquaman. Ain't anybody coming in there and taking, there might be some other characters too. I can play other things too. I can be funny, savage, and charming. There's the talk about him being Lobo. Again, his golden parachute. There's no talk about AH because of the damage there. Even Peter Safran, when he was brought up, Peter Safran's a pal of his. He's like, oh man, yeah, I'm going to be involved. And, Peter Safran is a fascinating one, because Peter Safran, give me 1 minute. He fully endorsed AH. Like, this is how things have gone, because they went from him saying, here, let me pull this up real fast. They went from him saying that, here we are. Let me just read it all to you. I want to read it all. I don't want to give you like a half freaking statement. He went from saying on the Deadline, Deadline again is of course an AH shill. It's what I've been saying. They're the ones that have been covering In the Fire. Anytime they had a chance, they shilled, to the detriment of any show around him. And, Safran has kept his mouth closed since he has been elevated to a higher position in DC. One that would actually, if they were going to back AH, they would have backed her. They would have backed her now. I mean, they would have just fully done it. But, that would have salvaged her in some way, because again, he gets to the highest level to talk about this. When he was talking about it before, right here, he was a producer, so he was an executive in a high branch. He was one of the few that actually said anything about that at all. But he made this statement before then, and now he's gone quiet. At one time he said, I don't think we're ever going to react to, honestly, pure fan pressure. You got to do what's best for a movie. We felt that if it's James Wan, Jason Momoa, it should be Amber Heard. That's really what it was. One is not unaware of what's going on in the Twitterverse, but that doesn't mean you have to react to it or take it as gospel or accede to their wishes. You have to do what's right for the film, and that's where we landed on it. So he went from making statements like that to, when he gets into the driver's seat, saying nothing. They have gone side. It's like it doesn't exist. And I mean, we are talking about big time levels for this too. Give me 1 second. Let me let me pull up something right here. 1 second. You have, so Aquaman, the Aquaman movie actually has its own Twitter. I've pointed this out many times, but I think it's good to go in and look at it, because again, it's built. They pay money for this. You see the gold checkmark edition. So Warner Brothers, what that means is Warner Brothers, they pay $1,000 a month to Twitter, so they can go in and they can get the benefits of that corporate relationship. Plus, on top of that, they pay $50 per account that is attached. Now, to get that money back, of course, you'd be out there hyping any movie whatsoever. I mean, it's Aquaman. You should be hyping this thing for this. The hype should have never stopped with Aquaman, right? It should just continue on. But it's just silence. It's radio silence. I mean, here you'll notice, okay, so the last post that they made, or they put up, it was a retweet for the Blue Beetle. That was in April. Before that, February, they were talking about the Flash movie. You notice there's nothing about it. Here is another one about the Flash movie in February. Here, you can see where they're trying to hype it with Batman attached to that. Before that, they're talking about February. Here's the Batman movie. So that's what they're hyping, again, under the Aquaman banner. Before that one, all the way back in 2021, They were hyping up DC pets, pushing that. And then when you look at Aquaman and you look at the last time they actually decided they were going to bring that up, it was all the way back at the failed DC fandom. Again, you could put an intern on this. They could be posting every single day. That's typically what you see from movies. You'll have posts. They'll try to get the hype train rolling. They'd put out, every few weeks or whatever, they put out something new, that would tease the movie. It would actually get picked up by shill media. Oh, look at this outfit. Look at this new picture that we've got. Whatever. I mean, that's typical. They haven't used this account to hype this movie at all since 2021. If that doesn't say that you have this expectation of failure, then I don't think anything does. Now, on top of that, with the Momoa targeting, you have them, up. So they're trying to bring up all the way back at Aquaman. Now, Jason Momoa has always been a prankster. It's one of those things a lot of stars do. It's, that building a camaraderie thing. And what's crazy is, over the years, this has now been weaponized against Jason Momoa. His pranks of, getting books or whatever. Yeah, that's gone to a weaponization level. They've tried to say, oh, no, him going out, him doing any kind of prank. Oh, that's so messed up. How dare he? 2018, it was all good. In fact, you got to remember, another thing that I would find annoying if I were Jason Momoa and is not being brought up at all is the fact that when the first movie came up, and a lot of people did not realize this, it was used as a stepping stool for the op-ed. That was part of the plan. In fact, they made it really clear in their discussions with the ACLU that Aquaman, Warner Brothers, all of that noise, that would be the perfect time to bring it up. In fact, that was one of the main discussions over, quote unquote, ambassadorship. The ambassadorship, that would cement it, money. Plus, you were supposed to have reach. That's why all of that supposedly transpired. I mean, it's crazy when you look at this, though. We have gone in just a very short time span. We've gone from these folks trying to utilize Jason Momoa as a mouthpiece for them all the time to look at what's here. Look at what's happening now. What's up? Gotcha, son. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, by the way. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It just, like I said, it's crazy when you look at the about face, because everybody, when you see it, everybody that has the audacity of separating from this person, not allowing them to be a millstone that is wrapped around your career's neck, that's, like I said, that somehow, in some way, that makes you somebody that needs to be attacked. And I like I said, I find that fascinating, considering Momoa, he endorsed her. I mean, that was the thing that they bragged about. It made headlines. He was the reason that she stayed. Give me 1 minute. That's the reason that she stayed on the case. I mean, on the show. But they went from crediting him, saying what a great man he was, what a good person he is, all this great stuff about him, to trying to bury him. I mean, they could have been quiet about it too. The reason that I found out about the unfollow wasn't because of well, it was because, first of all, Beatrix does a good job of keeping up with stuff. But Beatrix and other people, they end up noticing a lot of this stuff because of AH. And again, we don't have to take anybody else's word on what happened. We can take AH's own words on the Aquaman issues. This has been in public, but this was her. Remember, this was part of the under seal documentations. They wouldn't allow this to come up because what a mess. Jealous. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships too. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I love I love these streams. I have people that ask me, like, why? Why is this an important subject? The trial is over. Yeah, the trial's been over for a long time. The thing is, the public fallout, the pieces, this issue. Jason Momoa knows what's going to happen here. He knows how this is going to be met with crazy folks. Here, let me blow this up. Actually, he knows how these folks are going to target him. He knows exactly what they would end up doing, and despite that, he still decided to do this. Here, I'm pulling it back up. I'm just resizing that. But he still decided that it was worth going down this road. So here's what was claimed in unsealed documents. Again, if you've seen it, great. Read it again. If you haven't, just listen to this, because this also goes to the mainstream media and why they are unreliable as fuck. I kept telling people, I told you forever that she had been fired and something had happened, but she was definitely fired. They let her go. They were going to bring her back. And all of the PR machine, Warner's PR machine, they never expected any of this to ever make the light of day. This is why this goes to the reason for blacklisting. They went from Hollywood comeback as their talking point just a few days ago. This little nothing of a movie in the fire that proves somehow comeback to screw this gigantic actor. Oh, and screw that company. Screw people like Gavin. I mean, all of those folks. Yeah. Come back and say what again? It doesn't seem to be working out, right? But here's some of the statement on some of you can see, with her talking about, I've worked on, I've been working as an actress for over 50 years. I've worked on all these movies. During that, I was able to power through and overcome negative publicity. I had my press opportunities and more. But as part of this, give me 1 second. As part of the attachment, this came up too. So each time Johnny released a media statement branding me a liar, that's served as a trauma trigger, activating memories of the horror and the truth of the accostive relationship. Of course, can't speak about that. And what's amazing, I actually saw Charlotte Proudman was trending. Charlotte Proudman very much does not like men, period. Proves that over and over again, but is a friend of AH's. And one of the things that she has been pushing is this idea of courtrooms not allowing somebody to answer accusations against them. They want to make it illegal for you to even react to accusations. Because, think about and again, all of this is a two-way street. Of course, this stuff happens. Of course it does. It happens every day to men and to women. It's a horrible situation. If you look at the statistics on that, the statistics are wild. Especially, with IPV, men, the statistics with men, they are so much closer. And remember, these are reported statistics. The reported statistics are so much higher than are given credit. And, what's really crazy is in our society, we understand that people are false. Like we talk about all the time as a society, how we have, I'm going to say, there's a specific demographic. It would be black, young male is unjustly imprisoned so much, especially over false accusations. But period. But when you get down to discussions about accusations, when we get to discussions about all that, no, somehow all of that's all good. It's all gravy, baby. So I mean, you see how it's weaponized there. Johnny's comments are so strictly connected to the original trauma. They result in additive psychological traumatic events. His statements also activate the PTSD dimension, hyperarousal, hypervigilance, as I experience greater concerns for my personal safety, resulting in anxiety and acute awareness of my surroundings and continual scannings for danger. Here's where you get to Aquaman off that. His defamatory statements also caused me reputational damage and economic losses over a 5-year period that ranged from $47 to $50 million. Where did that term come from? Who knows? I mean, who knows where that number came from? Because there was no work that actually went into that. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for the 10, by the way. Appreciate that. Thank you. I've been a working actress. Again, all of those years, she noted. Throughout this period, I was able to power through and overcome the negativity. During this time, I had press opportunities that created tremendous awareness and momentum throughout the world. I traveled around the world for press events and was on the cover of a variety of global magazines. But my career gains were severely damaged beginning in April 2020, continuing through the present. Outside of the Aquaman franchise, I've obtained only one role since Aquaman 2018, and it was obtained prior to the defamatory statements. Also, as a result of defamatory statements, February 22nd, 2021, I was quote unquote released from my Aquaman 2 contract. I was ultimately rehired on the movie, but I was unable to renegotiate my deal to include salary increase and bonuses because the effort was focused. Now, remember, we heard from the media. We heard from people that were testifying on behalf of AH themselves. The reason that this transpired was because she had specific advocates. Now, I'm not saying that is true or not, but that's what we heard from her side there. We've never had anyone that's gone in and said, yes, this is indeed what happened. She said it was because of Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa advocated for her. So again, you've gone from hyping him up just a year ago to having concerted attack on him trying to destroy him. I think this will work into the bot thing. Let me bring something else up after this. This is actually interesting. I didn't think about this. So ultimately rehired. Pay increases of much as 50 to 100% are customary in industry where a film is successful as Aquaman, and I lost $2 to $4 million on the one film alone. In addition, but for his statements, my role would have been far more prominent, as written in the original script, which I read early on. My role in the sequel is quite extensive. As the first Aquaman, the sequel was to portray me as the co-lead for Jason Momoa, strong romantic art, So, again, her admissions where, yeah, I was let go. The only reason that I didn't stay ghosted was because Jason Momoa saved me. And we've gone from that to Jason Momoa being a target. Now, here's another thing that I didn't think of. As far as the bot discussion is concerned, bot attacks. Give me 1 minute, closing a couple of things. As far as bot attacks are concerned, we've talked about, I want to bring up the bot promo because, as far as the bot promo is concerned, it feels like this was designed for this specific thing because they knew it would come down the pipes one day. Again, here's the promo of it for the quote unquote compliment bot that is being utilized. Now, the compliment bot, the reason I bring that up, oh wait, this is the conversation bot. My bad. Give me 1 minute. I got to pull up the other bot. That's the convo bot. Actually, give me a second. I'll pull that whole thing up because I want to make sure people understand. Like, this stuff is not just some random thing that yours truly just pulled out of nowhere. You can find it on your own, and you can you could get all of this stuff too. But the conversation bot originally was intended, or rather tested, to showcase how it could take a conversation that was about Jason Momoa and turn it into a conversation about Amber Heard. That was the original. Again, it's still posted. I mean, all of this stuff is still out there. I'm pulling the demos of that specific thing. Give me 1 minute. But I'll also pull up the site it is from, because I want, when you're watching these conversations, I'm curious, like, how much of a bot additive will be involved. So, okay, so here is that bot. This is what I wanted to show you. Apologies, it took me a minute to pull this up here, but here it is. The screen, so you can see this was the original topic. Again, this is publicly them showcasing that they can utilize bots. A 10,000 comment, they say a compliment bot, which when you look, it redirects conversations. It makes them about something else. So the topic of this specific item was Jason Momoa. This was in their testing. You can see it right there. The comment that they're showcasing, as far as their example, was he has fame, but he doesn't want it. He has advantage, but he doesn't take it. And he definitely has all of our hearts. So, say you have a conversation about Jason Momoa. What could they do there? Well, they show in real time how they could take that and they can generate comments. You see all of these comments that are coming up. They could just flood this. Within 3 hours on their demo, they could add 10,000 comments, quote unquote, compliments about AH, talking about how she's beautiful, how she's gorgeous, how they love the shape of her butt. I mean, they even have a script for it. And who knows what the script looks like now. But all of that, again, it's all... Give me 1 minute. The script that they logged for it, like I said, it's still posted. Here's the posting of it itself. But I mean, they can put in anything. And again, just to give you an idea, so imagine this: if you wanted to give the impression that that somebody had the public turning against them, they were done. Imagine how even just an iota of this. Again, I'm scanning down through this, but look, and this is 3 hours that this thing could do this in. I don't know how many comments they could get away with without being banned. I'm sure they've tested that too, but look at this. I mean, this is what they were setting up. I'm just scrolling. This is just the same script. This is what they posted within 3 hours. All of that stuff there. And the script can be changed to anything. So if you want to give the idea, and again, if you have compliment or comment bots, what stops things from being like bots? View bots, whatever. And like I was saying, there was a main person that has been connected to, give me 1 minute, to this main person that has been connected to Elon Musk and to Twitter. And there was this huge conversation about bots, about growth strategy. And there's actually a transcript of 8 pages of documentation where there's this huge discussion, again, of quote unquote growth strategy as far as this person in their account is concerned. They show, how they're doing this. And this is artificial. They made it very clear that for this person, the discussions noted for the size of what they wanted, it would have cost about $10,000 to $15,000 for the campaign, where Twitter Spaces, these are the largest, I would say, discussion. I'm thinking about a way to put this. If you go to Instagram or Facebook, you can have lives, but as far as large places where people commune and have conversations, these are the largest on social media, outside of, say, live streams and stuff. That's what I was trying to get to. And this person out of those was the largest with all of that. And this entire documentation ended up leaking, along with, like I said, an 8-page transcript of conversations between them and the company that they were involved with, the company that was putting that together. And it's just flagrant manipulation of that system. And the reason that I note that is because it tells you that the bot issue is a real issue, an ongoing issue, where you definitely have bots that are manipulating numbers on Twitter. It is a bad issue, and it's not one, you're given this notion that all of that has been fixed, and it isn't. It hasn't been at all. Now, one other thing that I want to note too, I think this is important in the discussion. We talked the other day about JD and the comeback. How Disney, they're actually promoting him, and they're promoting Pirates of the Caribbean, promoting it as one of their top movies. Well, if you check this out here, the budget, the reason for that, we talked about the failure of the last 8 movies, Disney, resulting in $900 million plus in losses. Well, the Indiana Jones movie that is out right now, that movie was reported at a $250 to $290 million budget, which is insane. But according to Deadline, who is definitely a shill for all of these companies, heavily so, that number was not correct. The number that they're quoting is actually higher, much higher, to the point that you're talking about $329 million for that budget. So when you think about that, why is that important? When you think earnings, you need to double that number plus make up for advertisement. And then you have a cushion on top of that. So just the doubling effect alone, just to overcome the production budget of a movie like that, almost $660 million. Then they're saying there's an estimated advertising budget, a public, all the promotional push. That's the word I was looking for. Promotion and advertisement. I was like, what's that word? They're going to get there. They're saying 100 million. I think that they're going low with that number. I think it's a lot more money. But when you combine that, if you go with their numbers, just to break even on their numbers would be somewhere in the vicinity of $760 million. Now you have to add about $40 to $50 million as a cushion before you see profitability. So you're talking well over $800 million just to see any type of profit. And again, I think they're really shorting, considering all of the promotion that we saw for Indiana Jones. I think they're really undershooting the advertisement budget. I think it is much more than that. But this tells you why they've been promoting JD. They've been pushing hard because they're in the lurch. And then on top of that, you have the Warner on the other side, with all that mess with they're in the lurch because of The Flash and many other failure movies too. They are in a bind. Like the Warner Brothers issue, people will argue about this stuff all the time, saying, oh no, Warner Brothers, they're fine. They're not fine. They are a mess right now. They are a mess to the point that when you look up like Warner stock, Warner Brother Discovery stock, it is still setting, let's give it Okay, so if you get in, here's how Warner Brothers Discovery stock has been setting all of this time. Because people, every time they feel like something goes right, this is where you have to actually look, because this is when your merger happens. Right in these areas. And then, like, look. Oh my God. Now, I mean, look at that. This is a company that, in order to merge, they took on tens of billions of dollars in debt. I mean, they've gotten to the point, we've never seen this happen before, but they got to the point where they were writing off movies because they were hoping for the tax break where they could say this is just a wash. So they wrote off almost $100 million just to stop a movie from coming out, which cost them billions in their stock cap, because people were like, oh my God, this means this is an issue. Trying to see if there's anything new that's come up with Zaslav. And you have people that are saying, oh man, they're Zaslav. Like I want to show you the problems they're having as far as headlines are concerned. And again, this all works right into this stuff. You could see, like, Warner, you have some like seeking alpha. They're like, oh, they got a buy option. No, they've been doing bad to the point that Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav is having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad month. I mean, you see that stuff, Warner Brothers, their CEO gets booed in commencement speeches. You need to pay your writers, baby. I mean, it's crazy stuff. And how Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav became public enemy number one in Hollywood. I mean, this is a problem for Warner. This is a giant problem for them. They've had to lay off, as far as, so they hired, this has been a problem for them too. No matter how you sit politically, socially, a lot of the products that they've made, they tried to hijack people's identities. They've actually brought in people at an executive level to do that. They've gotten to the point in Disney and in Warner that they're firing these folks. They're like, well, that was probably a bad idea. Now, of course, they have wonderful titles like diversity leader, or whatever, but they're firing these folks. They're doing anything that they can, because their moves here, they don't just go out and make a good film. See, one thing I like looking at like manga, looking at animes, because as far as the idea of inclusion and diversity, like, that stuff can happen naturally there. You can have a story about anything, lifestyle choices. I was reading a book about a character that they were talking about there. This is a reflection of the writer themselves. They were talking about their struggle at accepting identity. As you know, the world found out that they were homosexual, and it was presented in a very compelling way. There are many books like that in manga. They don't just have an isolated readership. They have, worldwide readership. And that's because it's done in a way that's natural. It appeals to everyone. And, you have characters from every walk of life. Now, of course, it's going to reflect the culture that it's made in. So you're going to have a lot of characters that are from wherever, Japan, you're going to have Japanese, and so on. But when you look at American industry, and this reflects in that comic industry too, because Aquaman, again, based on comic books, that entire industry is falling apart. all these industries have, because they all forget their consumer. And now they're all scrambling. They're all trying to. They're figuring out that it doesn't matter if you're a $1 billion enterprise. It doesn't matter if you've got parks and recreation and have all of these backup plans. At the end of the day, the only way that your plans actually work out, and your only way that you're going to be dignified, is in it. You have customers that will continue to support what you do. These companies, they find themselves in economic hardship. They wonder what exactly transpired. Well, these problems, they point back to one originating source, them. What's up, Diane? Thanks for the 20 there. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. So Primrose, thanks for the 3 months there. Not sure about going to see Pirates because I want to support JD, but I want to give Disney money. Wish we knew how he felt about it being re-released. He's gonna make his money there. So that I'm sure he'd be happy about that. But until he says something differently, I'll take him at his word about how he feels about Hollywood and how he feels about all of that culture. Remember when he was at Cannes, he actually made the statement saying that, does he care about what Hollywood thinks right now? No. He feels bad for people that are stuck in that path. Now, that's not saying that, he's not saying that he would never do something with a company, but he said before, it would take it would take quite a bit, let's just say, including alpacas, to push him into actually going back with Disney. That's why when I see statements about non-committal as far as Pirates are concerned, with Pirate 6, I don't really take that as a Disney statement. It's so much as I take that as a Johnny Depp statement. If you could make more money, like right now, he can make more money. I think it depends on what he wants to do. If he wants to come out and he wants to become bigger than he has ever been, I think right now he is more recognizable and bigger as far as a name or a brand. He is his own thing. He's not Jack Sparrow. He's not any of this stuff. He's Johnny Depp. For the first time in his career, he is not getting compared to a character. When you have Johnny Depp brought up, again, it's not, hey, look at Jack Sparrow. It's look at Johnny Depp. Look at the dude, with music. Look at art. Look at him in this film. But again, the conversation was about him. So for the first time, he gets to make his own path. Now, if he wants the mainstream accolades, he wants to prove that he can be on the screen and be bigger than he has ever been before, then he can go back into the mainstream and he can make something like that. He could make the Pirates that I think fandom does deserve. They need a proper send-off for those characters. And that's what he said he wanted. That was going to be Pirate 6. They were going to have a proper send-off. And they would have made money even then, before all of the craziness. Now, though, the amount of money they could make would be mind-boggling. Because, again, his name, him as a person, he is more recognizable than really anyone else still. And everything he touches right now is working out extremely well. The question is, does he want to give that to Hollywood? He's not dependent on them. He doesn't need them for the money. He doesn't need them for career. He doesn't need them for opportunity. He can just do whatever he wants. So, the tables have turned. Well, that was my point to even bringing up, with the Disney stuff. The tables have turned to the point that when you get down to Disney, you can see it. You can see the desperation in Disney. You can hear it too. Some of the conversations that happen with people that are connected are panic. And like I was saying the other day, if you look at Disney and their marketing, again, it's very obvious that they've set the stage where they can test to see if JD, how he will do with audiences. But I don't think it's that. I think Pirates is such a big franchise. People were bringing up Pirates and the money that it made. And a lot of people forget that it had the mainstay as far as a franchise to continually, after that first movie, it continued to hover close to that $1 billion range. Plus, there's all the additions, all of the stuff that happened with parks, all of the association as well. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars. We can estimate, we can go by some of their statements where it's a $10 to $15 billion commodity, but it could be so much more. Who knows how much money that thing has actually made over time? What's up, Joanna? Thanks for the 20. Did you know Super Chats will only allow 20 and no more? At least for me? No, I did not know that. That's crazy. Is that true? Like people can't thumb over any higher? That's weird. Angel, thanks for the 9 months. I didn't know that, though. That's crazy. Bouzy's going down and glorious. Mwah! Couldn't have celebrated this day with better people than Tug and Tug's Thugs. Indeed. I think it's funny. Like it's good stuff. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the, and again, branding wise, as I was saying, I find it fascinating what they chose. Because when you look, Pirates is number one. That's front and center in the conversation. But beyond that, I mean, look at everything else. Look at the types of movies that they feel comfortable with. The statement is in what audiences they find these to be comfortable with. The real money comes from an all ages atmosphere. If you can produce something that you can then promote to everyone, kids love it, parents love it, that would work. Toy Story's beloved. And you think about the type of movie that is. Frozen, again, beloved type of movie. Beauty and the Beast, the same thing. And then when you get over the others, you get to The Incredibles, Coco, Lion King, and Moana. All of these other movies, they are a different type of movie. And the one movie that they decided to promote front and center, its type of movie, because if it's not just a big screen impact. Again, this thing was a cultural phenomenon to the point that I read an article one time that was talking about Make-A-Wish and kids and their what they wish for. And one of the things that was wished for again and again had to do with pirates. That tells you what kind of impact and a positive impact that this has. Disney, for all of their BS, you notice, like JD says, they never stopped marketing Captain Jack Sparrow. They were afraid of social blowback. But they never closed. They didn't believe it enough to close their merchandising. They never believed it enough to make sure that they purged that from their coffers, because they always knew the type of money that this makes. It's a strange place to be. Again, I never thought, after watching the accusations build, watching all of this stuff come to fruition, I never thought that the conversations that we would be having as far as career, we would be looking at what we are now. Because again, we're watching, it's kind of like watching a set of escalators. One of them is actually more like elevators these days. One, career options, they continue to rise. You have them popping up everywhere, sponsorships, roles, and more. And the other, well, sooner or later, it'll hit the bottom floor. And when it does, the stuff that you're seeing right now, you've seen attacks on JD I think they will worsen and intensify. Again, a certain person, they're known for one thing. They're known for that the world over. And the one way that they get recognition in discussions is bringing up JD. That's the one thing that the media, they will tune into, they'll engage. I think AH, when she has all of those opportunities shut down, she's probably she'll go back to, again, the idea of book, also speaking engagements. Can she make money? Remember, this is one of the most insulting things that I thought came up too. Remember, in speaking engagements, we found out before the trial came up that the company that had her, if you wanted to have her in a speaking engagement, you would pay $30,000 per speaking engagement. And she was using those speaking engagements to pass herself off. She, as the survivor of JD, she monetized the person that she accosted. And like I said, I never thought we would see all of that switch up. And we've watched that, and all the people that are associated too. We've seen them falling by the wayside. It's been, some of them are very pronounced. The Michelle Daubers, for example. Remember Michelle Dauber, her connection to universities, especially to accusations and false accusations. She was one of the people that was front and center with all of that stuff. Now you've had an about face in universities. Now students that have been accused, they can indeed sue. There is no protections on that. And people, unfortunately, this what sucks about this is many opportunities for women have been ruined by people like this, because they've pointed out how these places have become so biased, in promoting really themselves or their work self-image of the world, that it's closed down many opportunities for women. You've actually had to have courts go in and to say that, yes, people should be able to take on their accusers. Yes, you have to actually promote things with equality. True equality isn't this promotion of your own self-interest, or reflecting people that look just like yourself or have the same gear between their legs as yourself. I mean, we've had to have courts remind these folks of it. And remember, people like Michelle Dauber, they were front and center attacking everyone. They attacked everyone from JD, Waldman. God, they attacked people like myself. I love the freakouts and the shaking of a fist. When like Twitter, back when they would verify people, they didn't just have the $8 verification thing. They would verify people, and Twitter actually, when they verified myself and they verified a couple other people, her freakouts were amazing. But now she's gone from threatening students and more. It's just, like I said, it's astounding stuff. I never thought we would see a role reversal there. Heather, thanks for 5. I'm not sure what to do. I want to see it show Disney how stupid they are or were. I don't want to give them a penny. I think a lot of people are divided on it. Like for myself, I figure it's one engagement there. I will go, or I will sponsor some people to go, just because I think there's a message to send in that. But I do understand too. I'm conflicted on that. I hate these companies. I've grown to hate them. I never thought, these corporations have never been your friend anyway. But to just feel an unabashed like loathing for them because of what they've become, never thought that was possible. Yet here we are. Nancy, thanks for the 5. As much as people don't want to give Disney money by going to watch shows other studios or investors, he still has pull. Yeah, I think that statement is actually, first of all, I think that's very correct. I think that statement has been made too, though, with advertiser groups. I think the advertisers are the ones you have to get on your side. And then that's why stuff like this happens. When the advertisers, and it wasn't just, you had Dior, like the media complained about, and AH, her team complained about. Dior gave all of these places permission to have this conversation again. Why? Because when Dior dropped mega bucks there, it said, yes, advertisers are willing to have this conversation. We've never seen anything like, again, the PR that is still opposing is just, it's crazy. The amount of hatred for male survivors is insane. I mean, we live in a society where many people love to say that they stand with, and yet they will only stand with if they add a qualifier, and much of that qualifier is not standing with male or minors. They won't stand with either, really. They don't stand with kids either. It's just, it's unreal. Cat, thanks for the 5 there. I do want to see Pirates of the Caribbean again in theaters, and in my way, support JD. Does he get residuals? It also shows Disney. They should have stayed with JD. Yes, from what I'm hearing, yes, for sure. Again, I got one other person that I want to contact. I've not got a response, and I don't think they're available right now. I don't think that's a ghosting thing. From everything I've understood, yes. Residuals. Like I said, I wish there was just a statement that would come out from that, from Depp or his camp. They'd be like, yes, go see that, or no, screw this. But of course, he's never, the only company he's ever put out with Disney, he put out a statement after all of the court stuff came up. He made a statement in court that ended up going out. But as far as a public statement is concerned, the only public statement that he's really ever made was with a Warner statement, because Warner, they canned him in a movie, and they were going to continue. Warner Brothers would have continued pushing and promoting Fantastic Beasts as if it was part with him in there until they decided on their terms how to talk about what happened with JD. They had this full expectation of him, marching quietly into the ever after. And they figured, if he said anything, well, that would be automatic destruction. And now they're faced with not so much. Maybe they should have made a smarter move. Maybe that wouldn't have killed that franchise. In fact, if you think about it, if they would have been smart enough to keep JD with all of the publicity that happened with that trial, they launched it. If they would have launched it at the exact same time, it would have launched right before the trial. It would have played right into the trial. That would have been a massive amount of money. I mean, that's just crazy. And instead, of course, the face of their franchise. When I say replacement, a lot of people get confused on this. Mads Mikkelsen was, of course, the replacement, and he backed JD. He very much did. But the face of that franchise became Ezra Miller. That was who they decided to lean into. And they leaned into somebody they couldn't even have do promotionals, which is crazy. Sandra D, thanks for the 5. And the super sticker, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Heather, thanks for the 2. I'll go to see it a couple of times to support him. Yeah, I really don't like Disney. I hate the stuff that they do. They do not. We found out. So there have been people that have been speaking from different industries. We've had comic professionals. We've had a couple of directors. That there, and a couple of actors that are no longer, I guess, Hollywood approved. They talk about audiences, and they talk about the loathing that these companies and many quote unquote professionals have for the very people who pay for them to be there. It's so easy to do. Like when you look at the Mario movie, I think this was a perfect example of how you handle stuff. When you look at the Mario movie, there's all this before. people going after what's his face, Pratt, for how he sounded, like for voicing and stuff. And the answer to that was, hey, I understand why you look at that. You don't want your childhood to be messed up. That's my childhood too, and I appreciate what you're saying. But hey, just give it a chance. This is a great movie. You'll see. We'll prove it on the screen. That's how you handle this stuff. And unfortunately, these companies, they either do nastiness that is right in front of the screen. Again, people are like Peter Safran. They made the comments with Warner Brothers. They made them very clear what Warner Brothers thought. We do not answer to fan pressure. And there's just millions of people comment. No. We know what's best. We know, and they don't, or they stay silent and their moves speak for them. Again, like Disney. Disney didn't just, shoot JD into space and say, hey, this is done. They tried to reboot the franchise without him. They thought that they made. See, this is the common misconception that companies like Disney have had. They think that they make these brands successful. They have some Midas touch as far as it goes, with celluloid. And at one time, maybe they did. When the backlash too, remember when there was backlash about the Pirates thing, remember they told you, well, the reason they were doing that is because the movies weren't diverse enough. It was like, are you kidding me? You have actors from everywhere. You have female roles. Hey, baby, what you doing, kiddo? Hey, what's going on?
You have to put bombs out there, ain't you?
I have to what?
The bombs. There's just people out there.
There are people out there. I am talking to people right now. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hey, Nancy, thanks for the two. It'd be
I
hilarious
just
if
want
it made more than
food.
Aquaman. That
I
would be
just
funny one
want
day.
Food.
Huh? You want some food today? You want some new food?
Yeah.
What do you feel like eating today?
I like ice cream bars.
Ice cream bars. Is that what you're trying to get out of me? Ice cream bars?
Yeah, I like
Oh,
those colorful.
you-
He's just playing on there.
Yeah, I see him. He's playing.
He's
So,
just
oh,
playing.
you said you hear bombs outside. Are you talking about the fireworks?
Yeah, there's fireworks out there.
Smell auntie.
Oh, hey. What you doing, kiddo? Hey, what are you doing? She was telling me about...
talk to the internet about something that I do not understand.
What don't you understand?
Why the Grimace Shake meme has been going on? Like, what did it do to you?
I don't understand that grimace meme, actually.
Yeah, like, why are you bleeding out purple?
Purple.
Really? It's purple?
Yeah.
Okay.
People drink some of those and then they get purple.
Hey, are y'all looking forward to fireworks tomorrow?
Yeah.
You looking
If
forward
I
to
wasn't, then I would be dead.
it?
We have to. Hey, Dad.
What in the world?
Hey, Daddy.
Oh, what's that?
We want to do fireworks
I
today.
smell-
Oh, we don't do it today.
I
We do it
smell
tomorrow. Maybe we'll launch
bugs.
one. Maybe we'll launch one or two tonight. Okay. You want to shoot a couple tonight?
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to shoot little ones.
Little ones? Well, maybe we'll shoot a couple tonight. But really, yeah, they're blowing up everywhere. Out here, it's a well. Why don't y'all go upstairs? Let me finish real fast, and then I'll pick out a couple and we'll shoot them. Okay?
I'm just hungry.
Okay. Hey, get
Can
her.
I tell a story?
Hey, we get her an ice cream bar. Actually,
Can I tell a
That's what we
story first?
I
Uh,
want the colorful.
next time, not this time. I'm fixing it in. Oh, is it a short story?
Yeah.
Okay, very short story. Come here.
You know Rainbow Friends? I'm pretty sure like half of you do.
Yeah, Rainbow Friends is apparently what is that? A Roblox horror game?
Well, yeah, but
I
it's
want a Coke too,
my
Dad.
favorite character is Cyan.
Oh my goodness.
It
Cyan.
used to be green because
I
Yes.
just make noise on you.
and I'm getting a Cyan
You
plushie.
do.
And not those knockoff
I
ones with the big
Mm.
hands.
Mhm.
The actual.
I was just
Cyan.
walking like this. Just
So
not
here's a
walking.
story about Rainbow
just doing
Friends.
I
this.
don't know if you'll
Push,
be able to
push,
tell a
push.
story with. Yeah.
I just walk like you.
Auntie
You walk like me?
Booty! Be quiet.
All right, why don't y'all just talk for a few minutes here, and then you can tell a story next time, okay? Because she's not going to be quiet.
Once upon a time, there was Rainbow Friend Cyan and all her friends just chilling. And then there was a huge spider
A spider. Oh my goodness.
as big as a planet.
Oh, wow, that's
And
pretty big.
it's heading towards Earth.
That would
And
be bad.
everybody was freaking out.
Like this.
Wouldn't you be?
Like this.
Wouldn't you be?
Was that
I
what the spider was
smell
doing, laughing?
Auntie.
Was laughing? Oh no, it was
But
spreading
then
to
the spider died
Anyway,
because
what-
there was no oxygen in space.
Oh, yeah, that would probably. I
I
guess-
like the shelf.
Wouldn't the giant spider still crash into Earth?
No, it went the other way.
Okay, well, that was excitingly.
And then they continued tracing players.
Okay. Hey, go get her a colorful
But
ice cream bar if you would. Okay?
but then there was a player with fireworks and shot it inside his mouth. And
Oh,
Zion
no.
died. The
Oh.
end.
Right.
By the way, Zion's dead.
What a bunch of dads. Yeah, so we live in a little unincorporated area. You know, that means it's not in town or anything like that. And around here, it sounds like a war zone right now because there are so many fireworks. Because people just go off the hook. They love fireworks, and that's it's fun. Tomorrow will be crazy though. Maybe I'll record some of it, give you an idea. Some of it's funny. So last year, one of my neighbors, I was talking about this the other day. One of my neighbors had set up like this huge, those like $300 or $400 tube fireworks that you set up. You get like mortars. Get like 30 or 40 of them. Well, he set up one of those giant tubes, and he didn't brace it very well. So we for the kids and everything, like we'll try to stay around my garage or anything. I keep a fire extinguisher in case somebody sets something on fire. But he had this giant mortar, and it was it didn't point up. It ended up falling over, and it looked like something out of a low budget freaking war movie. He was trucking. Oh no! And you could see that thing fired over his shoulder and blew. Oh, it was so good. Actually, this is funny. So way back in the day, I had a stepsister that. But anyway, my stepsister had we'd had Roman candles, and she decided that she was going to. This was with hairspray days, when people would wear a lot of hairspray in their hair and stuff. She decided she would set a Roman candle up on a fence post. And when she set it up, she didn't brace it with anything. She just set it, with one fence post holding it up with the other one. Well, comically, that Roman candle, it was like, went up, they have 10 shots. Well, about the third shot, you can see the vibration knock it over. Third shot goes up. Fourth one, it goes kind of cockeyed at about a 2 o'clock. And then the next one fired, and it tapped the edge of her hair. And when it did, all that hairspray, it didn't set it on fire. It was just like all the hair just disappeared. It was like, whoof. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was like it disappeared. It was like somebody took an eraser and just made it disappear. I'm like, whoa. It didn't hurt or anything, but it was unreal. It was very unreal. I had a good laugh out of it. It was like an eraser went over her head. What's up, Zoe? Thanks for doing. Lugging bugs, sweet fun. Thank you. Tell Dad how show you kittens. They actually love kittens. We have a pet store that's close to here, and oh Lord, cats. They actually have been pushing. So Lug does not like dogs. She had an incident, well, 2 incidents really with dogs where people didn't control their dogs. One time, one jumped on her, and it scared her when she was little. And the second time, a dog came running out and scared her, and she went to run, and she dropped her tablet and it broke it. And that was a beloved item for a kid. So since then, cats though, she likes them to look at as long as they're not hers. She loves cats. She just don't want to have to take care of one. But what she's been wanting is some kind of lizard. I was trying to think if it was a water dragon or something else, but Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell y'all this. So this is actually, but anyway, I've got to go. Phone is ringing, but I've got to go. I got to jump now. All right. I see that in 4A. Thanks, 5. Tug, you got to add that I'm a fraud to your clips. Yeah, actually, that just hung up. But I'm gonna have to go anyway because the kids and everything. I mean, it's they're gonna ride on me. But yeah, I need to add that I'm a fraud to the intro. Maybe photo negative, distort it. Yeah, maybe I should do that. It would be fun. But I'm gonna jump here because I've got a conversation that I need to have with somebody. So here it comes. All right, but I gotta go. All right, thank you. Bye.